Hello, I am Taylor and I am a second year law student at Warwick, and despite the fact that I study a subject which has a lot of reading, I still managed to find time to hold 5 part-time jobs on campus. And very briefly, those jobs are an event steward at Warwick Arts Centre, a head steward at the same arts centre, a student ambassador, a Think Higher ambassador, and a University Go ambassador. Now, I just want to preface this conversation by saying that despite those jobs, there are also other jobs which are available both on and off campus, such as working in the library as a library steward, working in one of the various cafes on campus or one of the SU outlets such as the bar or within the SU building itself, and indeed the jobs off campus, mainly at the nearby retail park, so you might be working at places such as Tesco, Aldi, Subway, Greggs, etc. However, despite the availability of these off-campus jobs, I think that the biggest advantage of working on campus and through the Unitemps, which is the hiring agency that the university uses, is that you can pick shifts that suit you. So whereas with an off-campus job, you might be told, right, you have to work, from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. on a Thursday, you might have a lecture in those hours, but it might be tough luck. Whereas through Unitemps, because you can pick your shifts, you can pick the ones where you know you're going to be free, so it guarantees that there's no clash with your studying. And this point is especially true during exam and holiday periods, where if you decide to go home, say over Easter, then again, you're not expected to work any shifts and your employers completely understand. And again, during exam period, they know that you'll be busy studying. So again, there's no pressure to work those shifts. Looking at each of my jobs in detail, I'll start with the event steward. So I actually started this job as a volunteer steward, and I applied during Welcome Week, when during one of the fairs, the Arts Centre had a stand. And one of the biggest selling points of a volunteer steward was that you could actually watch the shows for free. So that's what kind of encouraged me to sign up. I became a volunteer steward, and then after a few months, once I kind of learned the job, I applied and progressed up to a paid event steward, and this meant that I actually got paid to watch these shows. And these shows aren't just kind of small independent shows that you've never heard of. I've also managed to actually get paid to watch groups such as Bastille or the Royal Philharmonic Orchestra, comedians such as Jimmy Carr, Michael McIntyre, Milton Jones, and plenty of other absolutely amazing acts I simply would not have otherwise have had the opportunity to have watched. But as well as being paid to watch these amazing shows, you also get to learn a lot of skills. So because you're selling ice cream and merchandise, you get to learn a lot about cash handling. As customers are coming up to you with different questions, you learn to think on your feet. And of course, because you are constantly interacting with these audience members, you also develop your customer service skills. After about a year of being an event steward, I then applied to become a head steward. And as a head steward, you are responsible for up to 24 event stewards and up to 2,000 audience members, all going to watch different shows. And obviously this is a lot of responsibility that, quite frankly, you don't normally get as a student. So that's what kind of really drew me to that job, the responsibility that's placed on you. And of course, there's other skills that you have to pick up and develop, such as cashing up all the merchandise and all the ice creams at the end, dealing with problems or queries from both audience members and event stewards. And again, these are all transferable skills that look great on your CV and provide a brilliant talking point in your interview for different employers. I applied as a student ambassador through an email which was sent to all university students. And perhaps one of my favourite things about this job is the variety of shifts and jobs that are available. So they can range from a small 1-hour campus tour to prospective students, which provides a nice little productive study break if you're working in the library. Rather than spending an hour browsing the internet, you can actually go off and earn a bit of money, and then go back to your studying, which is brilliant. So yeah, from those 1-hour campus tours all the way to like a 2-day residential where you are responsible for a group of younger secondary school students. So again, enormous responsibility placed on you. And then there's all those jobs in between. Another of my favourite things about being a student ambassador is that it can actually take you all over the country. So courtesy of my job, I've been as far down south as Brighton, and as far up north as Manchester, which when you're from London is actually quite exotic. You can also obviously meet new people, so not just as you're travelling around the country, but also different student ambassadors. These are people from completely different year groups, different subjects, different interests. But again, it's that great opportunity to interact with completely different people. And again, you develop those transferable skills. So your confidence, because you might be talking in front of a group of people. Your leadership, because a lot of these people have never been on campus before. They don't know where they're going. They're asking you questions. Resilience, if you're working with students and schools and they might not be listening to you. So a lot of transferable skills. As a Think Higher ambassador, I applied to this job through Unitemps. And because Think Higher is a kind of external group, external agency. And this job involves a lot of going into schools and interacting with younger students from year 7 all the way up to year 12 or 13. And it's about kind of making them aware of the pathways which are available to them post sixth form or college. And this isn't just about pushing them towards university, it's about making them aware of things like higher education colleges, apprenticeships, degree apprenticeships, and full-time jobs, just to make sure that they know kind of where they're going and just to get them to think about that. So it's quite a rewarding job when you know that you're kind of making these students aware of that. And again, those skills you develop, communication, because you might need to explain one bit of information to 3 different people because they understand things in different ways. Thinking on your feet, especially with icebreaker activities, again, leadership, resilience, communication, all of that. And then it was through Think Higher that I applied as a University Go mentor. And this is very different from the other jobs because with kind of Think Higher and Student Ambassador, if you go into a school to do an activity, you might go in for 3 or 4 hours and then that's it. You leave and you never see those students again. Whereas with University Go, you mentor anywhere from 1 to 3 pupils who could be in year 7, 8 or 9. And what you do is you develop a close bond and a good relationship with that student. And you might go into their school once every kind of 5 or 6 weeks and you chat with them. You kind of see where they're at, what do they want to do after GCSEs and A-levels, and just to get them thinking about what they want to do. But these are the students who need it most. And what's really rewarding about this job is you are making a tangible difference. You can see these students grow as they get closer to you and open up to you. It kind of makes you reflect, I find, on almost who you were and where you were when you were their age. I look at these students, the ones I'm mentoring, and I think, what was I thinking when I was their age and how has that changed to where I am now? Now, understandably, this does sound like a lot of commitment. And obviously I can understand the worries because obviously you come to university, your primary focus is studying. I personally have never found a problem balancing my jobs and my studying. And as I said at the beginning, the beauty of it is it's up to you what shifts you want to work. So if you know you've got an assignment due next week, you don't have to work any shifts. Whereas if it's Easter holidays and you're on campus and there's not much for you to do, you can work as many shifts as you possibly can. I've worked as many as 60 hours in one week or as little as 4 or even 0 hours, the next week. So there really is the complete freedom for you to pick those shifts. So that's just a quick overview of kind of the jobs that I hold as a university student and some of the other jobs that might be available if you choose to come to Warwick. So thank you for, I suppose, listening to me ramble about the jobs that I have on campus. I hope it's provided at least some insight, and good luck with your decision making. Thank you.